Hello, and welcome to this presentation about the war years of Ulysses S. Grant. Please sit back and relax and enjoy this educational presentation. I will now hand the microphone to the creator of this project.
Grant was working in his father's leather shop in Galena, Illinois at the outbreak of the Civil War. Grant was greatly against secession. Aware that he had a duty to serve for the Union, he went to Springfield, the state capital, and worked for the Illinois Adjutant General, then questioned the federal government for a commission as a colonel, but his request was ignored. He was assigned by the governor to command a unruly volunteer regiment. Grant originally received the colonelcy of an Illinois regiment, although his effective leadership of that sooner brought him assignment on August 7, 1861 as a brigadier general of volunteers. Grant's Civil War career showed him as a man of serious, self-contained, determined bearing. In November 1861, he launched an ill-prepared attack on Belmont, Missouri, where, after an original advantage, he was forced to retreat with losses. General Richard Yates assigned him colonel, 2 months later, of a regiment that became the 21st Illinois Volunteers. On a campaign against the Confederates in Missouri, Grant led these troops. President Lincoln appointed Grant a brigadier general in August 1861 upon the recommendation of Elihu B. Washburn, a Illinois congressman. John A. Rawlins, a young Georgia lawyer who Grant selected to serve on his staff, soon became Grant's closest advisor, critic, friend, and defender. In 1862, seizing control of most of the Mississippi River, Union forces made major advances in western lands in naval battles. Grant wanted to win control of the Mississippi Valley. He took Fort Henry and attacked Fort Donelson in February 1862. Grant replied, "No terms except an unconditional and immediate surrender can be accepted," when the Confederate commander asked for the terms. Grant maneuvered and fought skillfully to win Vicksburg, the key city on the Mississippi, and thus cut the Confederacy in two. For his next major objective, the Confederacy was officially cut in half, with the loss of Pemberton's army on this vital stronghold on the Mississippi. In March 1864, Lincoln promoted Grant to General-in-Chief of the Union Army. To destroy General Robert E. Lee's Army of Northern Virginia was Grant's main goal. When Union generals in the East were failing, Grant succeeded continually in the West. Lincoln promoted Grant to lieutenant general and put him in command of all the Union armies. Grant went to Virginia and started a campaign against the forces of Robert E. Lee. He forced Lee to retreat slowly towards Richmond, Virginia, the Confederate capital. Grant's troops suffered losses in several battles. Because he lost so many men, many critics in the North called Grant a butcher. Grant said, quote, "I propose to fight it out on this line if it takes all summer," end quote, during a bloody battle at Sylvania Courthouse in May 1864. Grant fought the most gruesome battles at Shiloh in the West. Grant was determined to move ahead to achievement with President Lincoln's support. The important city, Vicksburg, which was along the Mississippi River, was captured, which separated the Confederacy in two parts. With considerable help from the Federal Navy, the Grant captured Fort Henry and Fort Donelson on the Tennessee and Chamberlain Rivers, respectively, a few months later. In early April, Grant moved without caution southward along the Tennessee River to Pittsburgh in Shiloh, Tennessee. The Confederates opened the Battle of Shiloh by launching a surprise attack on Grant's forces at Pittsburgh Landing, Tennessee on April 6, 1862. He came under a great deal of criticism for the huge losses his army suffered, and he nearly lost his command. When people asked President Lincoln to replace Grant, this is how Lincoln replied, quote, "I can't spare this man. He fights," end quote. His troops advanced against this main Confederate stronghold on the Mississippi River, all through the winter of 1862 to 1863. Lee surrendered at Appomattox Courthouse finally on April 9, 1865. Grant's generous surrender terms included items that prevented future trials for treason. There were more than 13,000 casualties for the North and about 11,000 casualties for the South.